In this video, we will learn how to derive joint equilibrium in ISLM model algebraically. So first we will derive the IS curve, which will show us the goods market equilibrium. Then we will derive the LM curve, which shows the money market equilibrium. And then the simultaneous equilibrium in both goods and money market equilibrium. Okay. So let's concentrate on the IS curve first. So IS curve shows us the money, goods market equilibrium. So how do we derive it? Let us see. So we know that our aggregate demand consists of, and let me write it here, Y is equal to the consumption expenditure plus investment expenditure plus government spending plus net exports. Okay. Now what is our consumption function? So let us say our consumption function is equal to A plus BY. A denotes the autonomous consumption that does not depend upon the level of income, and B is our marginal propensity to consume. Okay, let's write the investment function also. So our investment function will be equal to I bar minus B, or I bar shows us the autonomous investment that does not depend upon the level of interest rate, which is denoted by R here, and B shows us marginal propensity to invest here. Okay, let us say our government spending, and let me write it here. Let us see, government spending is autonomous here, and net exports is also autonomous here. Let us denote it by bar here. Then our Y will be equal to, Y is equal to, so in place of C we have this consumption function, that is A plus BY, plus in place of I we have this function, that is I bar minus BR, plus government spending is autonomous, and let's denote it by G bar, and net exports, which is autonomous here, let's denote it by NX bar. Okay, solving for Y, so transposing this term to LHS, it will get subtracted. We have Y minus BY will be equal to A plus I bar minus BR plus G bar plus NX bar. Okay, let's take Y common, so we will be left with 1 minus B here will be equal to A plus I bar. Let's write this G bar first and NX bar first, and then write this BR. Okay, so let us see here, these terms are the autonomous expenditures here. Okay, and they are independent on the level of income or rate of interest. So I can write Y 1 minus B is equal to, in place of these autonomous expenditures, let's denote it by A bar. Okay, so then we are left with minus BR only, or our Y will be equal to, if I transpose 1 upon B, it will become 1 upon 1 minus B, A bar minus BR. So this is our IS curve. Okay, so since you can see the relationship between Y and R is negative, because we have negative coefficient of R here, that means our IS curve will be negative sloped. And let's in fact draw it here also. So our IS curve, and let us draw it here, will be like this. We have level of income on this side, or real GDP, and rate of interest here. So our IS curve will be downward sloped, because there is negative relationship between level of income and rate of interest, and that is being corroborated by this negative sign of the coefficient of R here. Okay, so this is how do we derive the IS curve. Let us say this is our IS curve. Now we need to find out the money market equilibrium, or LM function, and let's draw it here also, or derive it rather here. Now for money market equilibrium, and let me write it here, our money demand should be equal to money supply. Let us denote it by M upon P, that is real money supply. Okay, so money market equilibrium occurs where demand for money is equal to supply of money. Now demand for money has two components, and let me write it here. We have M subscript T plus M subscript Z. Okay, should be equal to real money supply, that is M upon P. Demand for money has two components, that is the transactionary demand for money, which shows us, or let me write it here, what is transactionary demand for money, and let's write it here. So let's denote it by KY minus HR should be equal to M upon P. Now what does this tell us? It simply tells us demand for money has two components, that means demand for money is equal to, and let me write it here. Okay, so let's write it here for the sake of understanding. Demand for money is equal to KY minus HR. Okay, that means demand for money is positive function of level of income and negative function on the level of interest rate. Okay, because we have positive coefficient of Y, that means there is positive relationship between level of income and demand for money. Since the coefficient of R is negative, it shows us that there is negative relationship between the rate of interest and demand for money. Okay, so this is what I have written here. So what will we do here? Let us try to solve this equation for R. Okay, so let's use this color. So if I transpose HR here, so we have H R is equal to KY minus M upon P, which is real money supply. And let me explain it further here. The coefficient of K in KY here shows us how much demand for money increases when income increases, because there is positive relationship. And this coefficient of R, which is H, it shows us how much demand for money decreases with the rate of when the rate of interest rate increases. Okay, so there is positive relationship between level of income and demand for money, and negative relationship between the level of interest rate and demand for money. Okay, so our R will be equal to K. If I transpose, it will become K upon H Y minus 1 upon H M upon P. Okay, or we can write it in this fashion also if we want, that is 1 upon H K times Y minus M upon P. This is our LM equation. Okay, so this is our LM curve, and here you can see there is positive relationship between rate of interest and level of income. So our LM curve will be upward sloped. Why? Because the coefficient of K in income is positive, so our LM will be upward sloping, because we are actually trying to find out the relationship between rate of interest and level of income, and it is here negative. Here the relationship was, so it is here positive, sorry, here it was negative, that is being shown by the negative sign of B here. Okay, so let's let's draw the graph here again. So we have level of income, rate of interest. Here, second thing we can infer from this equation is that since the coefficient of real money supply is negative, it simply shows us increase in money supply will shift the LM, or let's first you know, draw the LM curve. Okay, let us say this is our LM curve. LM curve. The slope of this LM curve is actually this k upon h. Okay, so slope is equal to k upon h. Okay, now since the coefficient of real money supply is negative, that means increase in money supply will shift this LM curve towards right, and decrease in money supply or real money supply will shift it towards right. Okay, so this is our IS equation. कूद गई. This is our IS equation, this is our LM equation. Okay, we can also see here one important thing, that is from this equation we can see whether our LM equation will be flatter or steeper, and that will be, you know, shown by this slope. Okay, by this slope. If, since we know k is actually, we have shown it here, k you know, here k is the income sensitiveness of income, okay, with respect to money demand. Okay, if demand for money is not sensitive to income, then this k will be smaller. When k will be smaller, this whole term will be, you know, small. That means in this case our LM will be flatter. If the demand for money is you know, very sensitive to the income, then k will be higher, because numerator will be higher, so this whole term will become larger. That means at that time our LM will be, you know, steeper, and it you know, explicitly you know, depends upon the value of k here. Okay, which shows us the, in you know, somewhere I have written here, rather this k is our you know, income sensitiveness for demand for money. Okay, so k upon h determines the slope. If this you know, this term is small, then slope will be flatter. If this whole term is bigger, then the slope will be steeper here. Okay, so it depends upon k and h here. Okay, now we need to derive the joint equilibrium here. So let us rewrite our IS and LM equation. So our y is equal to 1 upon 1 minus b a bar minus br. This is our IS equation. And we got r is equal to 1 upon h ky minus m upon p, which is our LM equation. Now simultaneous equilibrium requires that our IS should be equal to LM. Okay, now we can do one thing. We simply put the value of r is equal to this term in the IS equation. Okay, that means our y will be equal to 1 upon 1 minus b. Then we have a bar, which denotes the autonomous expenditures, minus b. In place of r we have this term again, and let me write it here. So we have these terms, 1 upon, let's write it k upon h here, k upon, okay, so delete good. Okay, so we have 1 minus b. In place of r we have these terms here. So we have 1 upon h. Okay, let's draw one small. We have 1 upon h. Then we have ky minus m upon p. Bracket balai gaya. So which is equal to 1 upon 1 minus b A bar minus, so we have here B upon H, B upon H, ky. I'm just multiplying this B with 1 upon H with this ky, minus we have then uh, sorry, it is here D. Okay, dr, here it is dr. Sorry for this mistake, because why I'm writing br here, it is actually, okay, let's write it here as B. Rather, I have done since I have used B for the marginal propensity to consume, and B for also the marginal propensity to invest, let me write D in place of B. Okay, where we have this, I will write D. So here we have D. Sorry for this horrendous mistake. So we have here D. Okay, so here again we have D. Okay, so here we have again D. We have D here. So we have ky, then minus into minus is plus, so it will become plus. We have d upon h times m upon p. Okay, sorry for this horrendous mistake which I have committed, because I have written the coefficient of rate of interest in investment function as b. Actually it should be d to differentiate it with this this marginal propensity to consume. Okay, so in place of d we have, in place of this b we have d. That means our y will be equal to 1 upon 1 minus b a bar minus d upon h ky plus d upon h m upon p. Okay, this equation shows us that equilibrium level of income depends exogenously on the given autonomous variables. And what are our autonomous variables? You can see our autonomous variables are autonomous consumption, autonomous investment, autonomous government spending, and autonomous net exports. Okay, that means equilibrium level of income depends exogenously on the given autonomous variables, which are being shown by this a bar, and it also depends upon the size of multiplier. So our multiplier is 1 upon 1 minus b. Okay, so let me write it here, 1 upon 1 minus b, it is our multiplier. Our equilibrium level of income depends exogenously on the given autonomous variables and also on the multiplier. This is first thing. Second thing is, here you can see, higher the autonomous expenditure, okay, if this a is greater, higher will be the equilibrium level of income. Okay, and obviously if lower the autonomous expenditure, lower will be the equilibrium level of income. Also, third point is that the greater the money supply, okay, the greater the money supply, because we have positive sign here, greater will be the equilibrium level of income. Okay, so this is our simultaneous equilibrium in both goods and money market, and graphically we can show it here in this fashion. So we have y here, we have r here. Okay, we have the is curve, this is our LM curve. So we will get equilibrium level of income and equilibrium level of rate of interest by equating IS and LM equations. I hope I make myself clear in this video. Thank you.